Hey y'all, I'm Jacob, you're watching the Prepper's Bunker Outdoors. Thank you for watching. I had an experience the other day that I felt like pertained to how Psyops works. I talk a lot about Psyops on this channel, and I find it difficult to explain to people why and how some of these things work. So when I find a life experience or an event that does a good job of demonstrating how a PSYOP might work, I want to use that to explain to you, at least on the surface layer, how some of these things can work. To start off, if you get nothing else from this channel, PSYOPs is marketing. Think of it this way. When you look at a company marketing a product, imagine that your government is marketing an idea as a product. That can help simplify a lot of this drastically, because at the end of the day, that's what this is. Now, the mechanism of delivery that you have been led to understand Psyops uses is dropping leaflets out of airplanes, and even modern Psyops still advertise themselves in this way. But the year is 2023, and dropping leaflets is no longer effective. No, every place that has an incredible return on investment for marketing for a business will also have an incredible return on investment for ideologies. So before we dive all the way into that, I want to say that I'm able to do videos like this because of my Patreon. I want to thank my patrons, and because of the charitable donations from my patrons, I am able to afford to take the time to do videos like this and to explain things to you, and it helps me be bankrolled by individuals instead of by feds, because my peers are bankrolled by feds. Also, I have two businesses, Beach and Tactical and Exodus Knife and Tool, custom handmade rifle slings that I designed in Afghanistan, made to order at beachandtactical.com, and some of the finest knives, I believe, production knives on the market, manufactured in the USA by White River Knife and Tool out of S35V and Super Steel, and those are available at Exodus Knife and Tool. Also this month I have a channel sponsor, Combat Art Training, fellow combat vet who is not going to play along with the system. So today's example, one of the most powerful tools used by Psyops is rebranding, just like a business. And so we're going to talk about a pet shelter. Just the other day, 79 border collies were seized in my county by old Uncle Sam and brought to our Humane Society. We went down to look at these border collies. We can't have another dog. So I told the wife, no, we cannot have another dog. However, we can go play with the dogs. The boys can pet the dogs, help socialize the dogs, help out a little bit, whatever the case may be. And an animal rescue came. And this is where things get interesting. You see, if you don't live under a rock and you care about dogs, you know that if you want a new dog, you have a few choices that are socially acceptable. Choice number one that is socially acceptable is to go to a professional breeder who does all of the paperwork, has AKC registered dogs, and who does all of their breeding right. And I'm just saying this is the almost universally accepted concept of one of your right options. The other right option is to adopt from the Humane Society. And the third and final correct option that is regularly accepted is to adopt from a rescue. And there are a lot of good rescues out there. Don't get me wrong. We're not here to talk about the good rescues. Out of these 79 dogs, do you think that they picked the blind dog to rescue? Do you think that they picked all the regular dogs to rescue? No. They took all of the puppies, every one of them. Not tiny puppies. They weren't days old. They didn't need to be helped and resuscitated back to health to be sold, these are the puppies that would have sold the easiest at the Humane Society. All of the females, the cutest ones, they took all of those. And all of the sweetest dogs. They left behind the worst dogs. You see, if you went to the puppy mill, that's some rebranding there, and it is often terrible. If you went to a puppy mill and bought one of these border collies for $400 to $500, you'd be a bad person. That poor guy running that puppy mill, he doesn't need your money. You need to go over to the rich guy who has the same number of puppies, who's running a rescue. He's not actually rescuing the border collies that need help. He's getting the dogs that are going to get him the most cash. He didn't have to breed them. He didn't have to worry about lines. Most likely the guy who originally had these dogs was most likely using the dogs as working dogs. I would guess that he was breeding according to working lines and not according to AKC standards. This guy doesn't have to worry about any of that. He's going to swoop in with a brand new truck and a huge 30-foot long horse trailer and 100 cages, and they're going to walk through and they're going to hand pick all of the most profitable dogs, and they're going to turn a profit on it. The rich guy, he's going to make a huge amount of money. I think he's going to pay $25 or $50 per dog. The Humane Society and the government is going to neuter the dogs and take the first steps to getting these dogs healthy. They're going to keep them for a week or two, and they're going to turn around and sell the dogs for $800 to $1,000, and they're going to live in Gucci land. It's genius, right? As a business perspective. But the way AKC, all these guys that are pushing AKC standards, they are going to promote rescues in the Humane Society, and they are going to constantly decry any breeder who is not going to shows and who does not do all of the things that the AKC people think are appropriate. They're going to talk badly about anyone regardless of how much they care for their animals or how nice their animal situation is. They're going to talk down to anyone who's not them, who's not a rescue, or who is not the shelter. And so basically what you have, guys, this is capitalism, rebranding, figuring out a way to get people to pay more for your product if it costs you nothing and to lower your costs simultaneously. It's genius. Your government is going to do the same thing. You're all looking for a tribe. You're looking for a group of like-minded people, preppers. It's going to be inundated with feds. It's probably going to be ran by a fed or a guy who's having his strings pulled by a fed. You ever wonder why Black Scout Survival will talk in all of his videos and chats about how feds don't last around here? No, we don't do anything with feds. No, don't worry about feds here. But as he said, he admitted himself that his partner is a fed. He'll go out and he'll do a photo shoot with a bunch of group guys or with whatever wearing a CIA patch. Did a couple years in the Marine Corps, accomplished nothing. But now he's running this group, and his partner's a fed. You ever think about why? You already know that all of these busts, all of these people, Randy Weaver, feds. You've got feds busting feds, all right? And you have people on social media who are formerly special forces, currently special forces, CIA, FBI, maybe even Kentucky State Trooper. They'll never talk about supporting liberty necessarily, or they rarely will, or they'll do it out of the side of their mouth. But when they talk about a political issue, usually something's a little bit off. The moment that the news media is saying that if all of the liberals hate Trump or Elon Musk, they must not be that bad of people, and your favorite social media figure whose partner is a CIA guy says the exact same thing, you need to start thinking, because all of this is about rebranding. It's about names. It's about associating certain names with certain things. Associations directly tied to all of this. It is marketing for your mind. Homework assignment. Your favorite YouTube channels. What are their backgrounds? And how did they go from their background to where they are now? What investment did it take? And track their growth. Think for yourself. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, and I hope that you have a blessed day.